Hi everybody, this is my first little recorded video, so bear with me. I just wanted to share how I kind of quickly do these Photoshop rendering processes. So the first thing I do is I import the clean line work from AutoCAD, and in this one in particular I exported the building outline as a separate layer so that I can manipulate the shadows and outline individually. So here what I'm doing is I'm just going through and magic wanding the different areas. Um, the turf areas, the pavement areas, the sidewalks, and what I'll do is I'll fill them with either a color and on their individual layers, so later I can come through and manipulate either as a pattern fill or if I need a unique or individual texture, it'll give me the clipping mask that I need. You can see here some of the lines weren't and the existing line work wasn't quite clean, so you had to do some cleanup. Use the magnetic wand and just your marquee tool to clean that up. So this whole rendering took about 2 hours to do. I sped it up, I think 200 or 300%. I don't always act like a crazy cracked out computer manipulator. Although I have been told that I zoom in and out too much. Must be getting a coffee or something here. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm magic wanding and it's not window selecting what I want. So I have to go through and just kind of manually close out some of these poly areas. If anybody has any better ways of doing this, by all means, I'd love to hear it. I feel like I need to talk the whole time, but I guess I don't. So the colors I'm filling with don't really matter so much. It's just, I mean, basically these just become clipping mask or pattern overlay fills. So whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat on these things. Always trying to learn new things too, so if you guys have better ways of figuring this thing out, please let me know. I'm about to have a seizure watching this. You can see the window buckets didn't get the handicap parking striping in there. See how they come through and just kind of do some manual cleanup after. And the intent of this rendering wasn't to be sort of a final marketing rendering. It's just to sort of help the client understand what exactly is going on. So there are some things that I did quick and dirty. So here it looks like I'm trying to get a little bit fancy and just put a gradient, darker blue where the water's deeper, lighter as you get to the top. This looks like I'm doing some last little bits of cleanup here with the concrete sidewalk. So basically this is already set up, and we have kind of our 60%, 80% CD set in place. So we're using, the CAD line work from our drawing, and then also, kind of our materials plan as a reference. So we have different types of concrete finishes and paving materials. So those are the different colors that you kind of are seeing within the hardscape areas. So getting everything separated out is the part that really takes the longest, I think. It's also the most annoying to me, at least. There we go. It's starting to look like a rendering, huh? For those of you that stuck around this far, I don't know if you know or followed us on Instagram. I started a small multidisciplinary design firm in Charlotte right now as the director of design. So we're starting to build up our team. We're getting some pretty cool little projects coming in the door. Anybody that wants to come move to Charlotte and help me out, let me know. Always looking for good people. Also interested in what you guys are interested or find kind of most interesting that I do or post, the types of posts that I do. I mean, obviously, I think this is probably the first digital graphics post that I've posted. I've spent a lot of time posting my hand rendering process. All right, so here I probably should have just done a pattern fill or pattern overlay on these things, but I wanted, I guess, for some reason to do it the hard way. So again, I just overlay that gravel texture everywhere it needs to be, and then just use the fill that I had it or bucket filled before as a clipping mask. So I'm grabbing these textures. Some of them I have saved, and most of the time I just pop over to Google and just literally Google concrete texture or gravel seamless or something like that. And I haven't been keeping a library. Several years ago I would have a Photoshop library of textures and things like that. But it's just as fast to just pop over to Google and get that stuff as it is to browse to wherever that folder was. So that's how I've been doing it. This is a kind of funky little project. Working with a client out of Philadelphia. It's an apartment project in Charlotte. Organic orthogonal. That was the concept that we came up with. So here, I don't know if I end up liking how it turned out, but basically what I did is I panned around on Google Earth until I found some trees against a field. And for the tree save area, that dark green that you're seeing right there, I thought it would be neat to use actual aerial view of trees in there. So I'm using that clone stamp tool to just sort of grab that shadow line along the edge, just making sure that the direction matches the direction of the shadows that I have been in there so far. So kind of from the bottom right, and just stamping that stuff around the edges. I think it ended up looking okay. Let me know what you guys think, or if you have other ways of doing that. So I'm taking just like a. Oh, the other thing I do is I use masks to do these edits. That way you can just put it back if you make a mistake. I used to, just straight up erase that stuff. Oh, and then you can see my thinking here. I was going to go around and erase the backside softly, and then I'm just like, well, I'll do it at the property line, just make a nice clean line. Alright, so then I went and found a nice pine forest in Google Earth. It's sort of a plantation pine, so they have that kind of formal texture to it, the little dots do. And just messing around with it as an overlay. I think it gets the point across as a plant bed. Again, not spending too much time kind of putting in the detail. So for this tree, I think I googled plan view tree or tree from above. And typically, if it's a marketing rendering or something like that, I'll go through and I'll pick 2 or 3 different trees, and I'll also manipulate the size of each one of those trees and maybe some color properties as well, so it doesn't look like I clone stamped everything around. But for the purpose of this rendering, it's just trying to convey mostly material and ideas. So I did manipulate the size a little bit, but I didn't spend very much time on that. So just copying these bad boys around. Interesting thing, after I finish this rendering, um, we got comments back from the city that we had some of these trees too close to the building or too close to the utility, so we are going to have to go through and kind of rethink our strategy a little bit. Huh. Whoops. Looks like in that south courtyard I left some trees in the middle of the field there. Huh. How in the world did I not see that? So here I'm just going to that grass layer and just adding a little bit of highlight and shadow just to sort of softly indicate that there's some topography going on. Now what I'm going through and doing is lightening up some of the trees again, just to add a little bit of variation so that it doesn't look like I copied the same tree around, which I did. And now going through, and again I just googled wood deck texture or wood texture. Some cleanup there. And narrating this is stressing me out. You'll have to let me know how I did. I rarely listen to stuff with sound anyway, though. Alright, so here those are street lights. So basically just copying around the shadow just to add some dimension or give some dimension to the drawing. Well, you know what I should have done? I should have put a little drop shadow on that pavement texture. Then you can see that it's not a super clean rendering. Quick and dirty. Also, for some reason, I got these fancy new Apple AirPods things, and it's not letting me use them to narrate this. So I'm just talking at my computer right now. So here, just adding detail shadow to some elements. Those are bollards. Add some to the pool. Inside of the planter walls. So with the hand drawing, and then also with computer graphics, the lighting and the shade make kind of a huge difference in the drawing coming to life. That added dimension or depth. There you go. So this is my typical process. I'll just Google whatever I want to put in there, and then for this one I'm just using it as a reference. Our little hammock grove over here. Just put it in there and then trace over it. There's a hammock post. It's driving me nuts that I didn't see those trees right there in the middle of the south courtyard. Gotta fix that. Decided on blue hammocks for now. Add a little bit of shadow. Lighten up. Darken up. Alright, and that's about that. Oh, forgot about the people. And typically, again, I spend a little bit more time. But I think that this makes a big difference in sort of the bringing the rendering to life, or the graphic to life. Also, the other thing that I didn't take the time to put in here is kind of the site furnishings, so the pool lounge chairs and the benches and bike racks and all that stuff. There's a car. I was feeling ambitious and I was going to fill the whole thing up with cars, but then I was like, I'm going to put a few in here. Alright. Anyway, let me know what you guys think.